first play of the season will be Man and Boy at the American Airlines Theatre beginning in September.
It's a play by Terence Rattigan, written in, or first presented in 1963.
The play is dark and an unforgettable story. It's got extraordinary modern resonance for various reasons, the main one being that it's set in the Depression, and it's about a very early Ponzi scheme, a real one.
It's like a Depression era kind of play being set during the Depression about kind of like this financial mogul who was scamming the world, I guess, through his Match Corporation. So it's basically kind of about his finding out and the disintegration of him in a very short time.
It is about success at any cost, and it's throwing your loved ones under the bus. It's actually not having the capacity to have loved ones. And the loved ones are in the dark about that.
It's a primal father and son story. It's also hideously clear on the subject of truth, falsehood, love, hatred. I mean, what stronger words are there than those as a backing for a drama?
The play really speaks to questions of greed. You know, how important to you is money as compared to family?
It's unusual, but it's intensely recognizable.
The play is actually very raw to me.
My main interest was getting the great Frank Langella to come back and play the role. I think it's one of the great roles of his lifetime that he's going to play.
Frank understood it immediately and wanted to do it, and will be absolutely wonderful in it.
He is so right for this character in Man and Boy.
Adam Driver is coming back from Mrs. Moore's Profession to play the boy in Man and Boy.
Together, I think they're electrifying.
I think he'll give Frank a run for his money. It's a great role.
One thing about Frank and Mariah, and actually everyone in the cast, is they're so willing and so open. You really feel totally comfortable in the room to do anything, try anything, fail.
It's a very realistic story, and it's a very realistic set. It's a single set. Takes place in Greenwich Village in the 1930s in a kind of basement apartment. One of the things that drew me to it is that, as someone who's lived in New York for about 25 years, the kind of familiarity of Greenwich Village basement apartment is something that I found kind of irresistible, something I really wanted to try to nail on stage. One of the things that's sort of interesting about the set is that his father comes to visit. His father is perhaps, one of the wealthiest men in the world. He doesn't have a great relationship with his son, and this squalor of his son's apartment is meant to be kind of an unbelievable affront to the wealth of the father. That sort of governed almost all of our choices. What kind of sofa would most appall the father in the 1930s? It's dark, it's subterranean, it needs to feel somewhat secluded, it needs to feel like a place where someone could hide, not be found. It needs to be feel a little bit like it's off the grid, even though it's in Manhattan.
Audiences are very much going to be surprised, I think, with how this play, written so long ago, has so much impact on what's going on today.
I cannot get over the sensation I had when I picked up the play and got to the point of it, the fulcrum of it, and discovered that it was as electrifying now as it was when it was written.
I hope that audiences take away from Man and Boy, one, discovering a great play that they never knew before, because I venture to say that none of them will have seen this play before. Another great performance from Frank Langella, and maybe some additional thought on what it is to be involved in the nefarious aspects of the corporate world today.